Webinar is now live. Okay. Hey everyone, welcome to our 6th episode of our webinar series with Universal Companies. I'm Joanna Roach with GSN Planet, and I am here with the UCO team. So happy to have them, Kristin, Dean, and Camille Tillman, and also Peter Plishka, who have really graciously and generously put this together for GSN. So thank you so much for doing that. And today we're going to talk about online marketing for SPAS. And so some folks from our team, namely Megan, who's in the control room as usual, and also Shay Holford, who handles all of our social media engagement, is also on the call. Hi, Shay. Thanks for coming today. And, you know, I think that one of the things that I've learned going through this sort of 6-part series with you is that it's so interesting what everybody else knows and also what they don't know. Right? That part is so interesting. So I'm excited to hear what you have to say today, and I will hand off to Peter in case he wants to say a few more things. So thanks for being here, Camille and Kristin.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks,
Peter,
Joanna.
take it away.
Okay, so as Joanna said, this is the last episode in our online marketing for SPA series, and the webinars are on. I guess you can tell us where they're on for GSN, where they're being, or if people want to go back and look at previous ones.
They're on our website, Peter.
Okay, so they're on the GSN website, GSN Planet website.
And we also do an email blast with the recording as soon as like tomorrow.
Right. Okay. So if you've missed any of the series, just know that the full series is being presented on the GSN Planet website. We're also posting it on the UCO website along with the resources that we talk about during the series. So we know that there's a lot of outside resources for you to get to for free or for a small cost. So we've added those into the next to the video link. So today we're going to talk about social media. And I think for a lot of people out there, social media is very simple to use because they're using it for fun and they're using it to keep up with things that maybe friends, maybe brands, maybe things that they want to follow. But for other people and for businesses, it's a different landscape. It's a really something that is maybe can be like your personal account, fun and playful, spontaneous, but there's also a lot of planning that goes into it. So today, Camille and Kristin are going to talk about the mechanics behind social media. So they're important to know to use it properly. So I'll introduce our team. Camille is the VP of Marketing at UCO. She has over 30 years of experience in e-commerce and online marketing. Her experience spans B2B and B2C companies that include banking, medical equipment, technology. She's been and her partner today is Kristin Dean, and Kristin is our digital campaign manager at Universal. And Kristin has been working as a marketing leader for 10 plus years. And for UCO, she manages all the email campaigns that go out and oversees the email campaigns and the social media campaigns. So these are our two in-house experts at UCO. So I'm going to turn it over to Camille to get us started. And feel free to ask questions during it. We're going to throw those in as we have time.
Thank you, Peter. Okay, let's, there we go. That's the right one. Can you see my screen?
You're good to go.
Good. Okay, and I'm going to move you just a little bit here. Okay, so welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. Again, as Peter mentioned, Kristin and I are going to tag team today on this topic of social media for your business. Actually, several people help at UCO on our social account, but Kristin and I are the primaries on it. We also have an agency that we work with for our social media. And you have to keep in mind, we're representing 400 brands and thousands of products. So that's why we enlist the help of an agency. And they particularly help us with Facebook and Instagram. Their name is Tombras. And Kristin will mention them again when she gets to her part. So I just want to give them a shout out because I know quite a bit about social media on a personal branding front, but much of what I learned about social media for business, I've learned from them. They've been really great partners. So today, let me see here, let me go forward. Okay. Today, what we're going to talk about is effective implementation of social, and that includes creating a social calendar and some content ideas for you. How to grow your audience on social. And then Kristin's going to talk about paid social. She's also going to provide some additional helpful tips for your business in social media. We're going to talk about measuring the performance, and then we're going to wrap up with tools to help you schedule posts and to help you create your posts. So that is what is in store for you. So one of the first questions that we received this when people registered, but also that we hear a lot is, you have to start at the beginning. So which social media channels should you use? And there's quite a few out there. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all of these you see here and more. I think there's 100+ social media sites. But for today, we're going to focus on Facebook and Instagram. Those are the two that we put a lot of time and effort into. And really, I think you have to ask yourself, where is your audience? Because that will answer your question as to which social media channels should you use. If there's a chance that your social media audience is extremely young, teenagers and early 20s, then Instagram and TikTok, you definitely want to focus on those. But if you're skewing older, it's Facebook. If you have a particularly business focused audience, if you're a hotel or a resort type thing, then maybe LinkedIn would be better for you. But for today, we're going to focus on Facebook and Instagram. Okay, and let's go ahead and get started. So first we want to talk about making sure that, once you've decided on which channels that you are going to engage on with your clients, you want to provide them with as much information as you can. Many times your customers, this is going to be the first place they're going to go and look for information about you, right? If you've joined us in some of our other webinars, excuse me, they're going to Google you, or they're just going to naturally go to their social platform to look you up. So you want to make sure that it's very easy to contact you. So you want to make sure you have your business name there, your actual physical address, your phone number, your hours. This is really important. This is one that I see a lot of businesses missing on, especially their Facebook accounts, is their hours. And especially with COVID, hours have changed. So make sure that you keep those up to date. Your website address, and then also in Facebook and in Instagram, you can provide some information about your business. Make sure you fill that in. You'll want to talk about, if you're a spa in particular, talk about that you offer massages and skincare and what all, the extent of what you offer. If you're a salon, maybe you want to talk about that you specialize in colors, or you specialize in curly hair, or whatever the case may be. Again, here, a little bit of this is reminiscent of when I talked about if you have a website, add photos of your storefront. It's going to make it easy for your customers to find you. Add photos of the inside of your business. Again, it makes them feel like they know what to expect. And when you're writing information about your business, you want to think about, why would a customer want to come here? So do focus on that. Try to write your about story from the viewpoint of your customer. And then just lastly, sort of what I mentioned about the website, reuse what you have on your website. You don't have to start over from scratch, or even your Google My Business listing, which is also something we talked about in a previous webinar. You can at least use that copy as your starting point for your social profile. And it's an easier way to get going. Okay, so then now let's talk about creating a content calendar. So you have yourself all set up and you are ready to start posting. So what do you post, and how do you get into a good rhythm? Our very first suggestion here is that you create a content calendar. When you're on social, you're competing with your customer's sister's new baby and all those photos. You're competing with that customer's neighbor's trip to Hawaii and all the photos that they have. So you need to kind of keep that in mind. That's what, you are up there along with everything else. And so you need to keep your customer interested. So provide a mix of content to keep them engaged. And again, content should provide value to the customer. Always try to think of it not as what you want to tell the customer, but what the customer may want to know. That's a little bit easier way to think of it. And when I talk about engaging them, what I mean is you want to get them talking. You want to get them interacting with your posts. That is really ideal. So the 5 points that you want to sort of focus on when you're thinking about the types of posts that you can make is to entertain them, to inspire them, to educate them, which there's a lot of room for that with SPAS, to sell. And of course, that you need to sell, you're a business, but you want to keep that not, you don't want that to be the main focus. And then to engage them, which is that getting them talking. And you'll want to mix this up as you go. So I'm going to show you next an example of a content calendar. So I hope you can see this. Here's up here, and this is a content calendar that you can download for free off of Kristin.
I downloaded this off of Hootsuite.
Hootsuite.
But there's lots of them out there if you Google free content calendar. But this one particular came from Hootsuite.
Okay, thank you. So you can see up here, it has a key of a color-coded key: holidays, entertain, inspire, educate, etc. And then you're just going to go ahead and mark in on your calendar, plan out with some frequency, with some mixing it up a little bit, of when you might have an inspire quote, when you might have, an inspire post, when you might have an entertain post, when you might be selling, if it's a holiday. Here's an education post, and it's actually tied to a holiday in this example. So this is a really easy way, if you can just get 1 month ahead even, this is a really easy way for you to keep track of what you want to post. You can pre-fill it with ideas. This is actually what we do. So we might say, oh my gosh, did you know it's National Manicure Day on October 1st? I'm making that up. I don't think it really is. Go to your calendar and in October 1st, put National Manicure Day. You've already set yourself up that at least there's one day that you know what your post is going to be. And then many of these dates, they just, they repeat each year. And topics that are popular in May are going to repeat each year. So really, once you have your content calendar built out for 1 year, much of it can be reused. Obviously, you might want to, write a different post, but the topics can be reused year after year after year. Okay, and then another point is scheduling these posts. Kristin's going to talk a little bit about that later. That there are scheduling tools out there that you can use. Okay, let's take a look at some ideas because this was also another popular question when people were registering. They were saying, okay, well, what are good ideas for posts on social? So we've kind of come up with a whole list of ideas here. Before and afters, these are really popular. I liked actually our Tombras, somebody who works on our Tombras account said that befores and afters allow the customer to visually try on the service. I thought that was a really interesting way of saying it. And, there's befores and afters are really popular in hair salons, but they're also really good with estheticians. We've also seen befores and afters with nails where the customer's nails have looked just terrible. And then they use, let's say, something like a, like a C&D type product that is used to make the nail bed better, and they can show the before and after for that. So I really think there's an opportunity for before and after in many of the licensures. Inspirational quotes. When we first started really focusing on our social media, inspirational quotes, we did those weekly, and they were one of our most popular days of the week. And a lot of times our spas that followed us would then reshare them to their customers, and which was perfectly fine. And actually that's our intention many times. So that's another good content idea. Ingredient information. Why is one product work differently than another? Or if you think about CBD, that's a whole new ingredient line, and it's getting a lot of press, and it has been for a while. So what is the value of CBD, and what does that mean? And will I get high from it? No matter how many times you and I have read that you can't get high from CBD in a product, it doesn't mean that your customers know that. So ingredient information can be good. Service and product reviews. If you have a website, your blog posts, you'll want to go ahead and reshare those on your social. Any promotions that you're doing, any kind of, refer a friend, or, it's Memorial Day, we're giving you 10% off, anything tied to that. Retail items. This is one I do want to talk about. Even if you don't have a website, and even if you don't sell online, you can still, if you have a retail area in your business, you can still on your social highlight the products that you have for sale, and effectively you are selling online. You can show the product, you can say why you carry it, why it's good, why the customer might really like it, and then your call to action could be, give us a call and we'd be happy to, send this out to you, or hold one aside for your next appointment, whatever. Events and holidays, this is a popular one, and you can, as you saw from the calendar, I think one of the holidays that we had highlighted was National SPF Day, and so you can then tie in some education to an event or a holiday at that time. Community involvement, if you are raising funds for disabled children, if you are taking up a collection or a drive for senior citizens, post about that. It shows that you are involved in your community, and it shows that you give back. Another one that kind of falls under here that I thought was interesting, and this was when I was doing the website webinar, I saw one spa, and they had a page on their site that highlighted the businesses around them, so that they would kind of, also frequent their neighborhood, their next door businesses. And then when I went to those businesses' website, they also had highlighted. So let's say the spa would highlight the restaurant then went and highlighted the spa. So that's a really nice way to cross promote your community. And again, you can on your social posts say, hey, come in for a haircut, and oh, by the way, stop afterwards and get something to drink at the coffee shop, or this clothing store has some really new items in that are nice, and you can talk to each other and sort of cross promote that way. Videos are great, and I'm going to show you some examples of videos. Hopefully you'll be able to actually see them. And then Facebook Live is also Another way, Instagram also has something similar. You could do a Facebook Live, which, of a live demo of a quick service, and a really quick service. A Facebook Live doesn't have to last an hour. It could last just a little bit of time, and then it'll be archived on your page. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at actually some examples that I've pulled out. Now, all of these examples are from Instagram, but you could find something equally fitting on Facebook. I just happened to be on a roll and I found a bunch of things on Instagram. So for a nail salon, I loved these two examples. This one, sorry about that. This one, she's actually showing the different types of nail designs that she can create for you. So I thought that was great. What a great way to market herself. And this one, besides the fact that I love how this ombre nail looks, she actually talks about the product that she used and why it's great and how, her clients, their manicures are lasting for 3 weeks. So not only the visual of how nice the end service looks, but hey, you can have this and it's going to last you a long time. Here is an aesthetics example. This is a great one. How much product? This is an education. This is a fabulous education post. And this one isn't actually by a spa. This is from Beauty Changes Lives, which is in our industry. They provide not tuition, but grants to people who are beginning their careers. But, so simple to provide something like this to show how much product to use. This would be something your customers would want to know. And then here's an example of a video. It doesn't have sound, but hopefully it'll play for you. They're actually showing a hair extraction. And when I showed this to somebody else, they thought it was so disgusting, but I keep watching it. I'm like totally fascinated. It's almost like a pimple popper type video for me, but really great to show what that's like and how it's done. Let's see here. Massage. A great post here. A lot of people feel uncomfortable about speaking up and letting their therapist know that the pressure's not hard enough, or it's too hard, or I don't want you to touch my hands, or don't get oil in my hair, or whatever the case may be. This post by Star invites you. She's telling you, I want you to tell me, please always tell me if anything's wrong. So this is great. It's a good reminder for your customers. Next, waxing. Let's see if this one plays. This is super simple, but all she's showing is a quick little video. It's just on replay of, the wax in the warmer, and hey, come on in and get your waxing. It's summertime. And then she has her pricing listed here too. Lash and brow, I love these. I never get tired of looking at these. These are great before and afters. I mean, you can see she had the whole 9 yards here with the lashes and the brows, and it just looks beautiful. And she even talks about her new online booking software and how you can add services to it. So again, not only is she showing a before and after, but she's explaining to her clients, hey, this is how you use this new software that you're probably not used to. Okay, this is another video. Hair. Typically for a hair salon, you would see a before and after of a color or a cut. I liked this one because they've made March is shoulder massage month, and they actually, oh my gosh, that looks like it feels so good. They actually show it, and a nice way to promote that little extra service that they give in March. Here's another one. Serena and Company is actually a vendor that we sell their product, but this is a good example for retail, and so easy for any spa or salon to recreate. All they did was they just put the product on their wrist. I love how they put the quote here, and then took a photo. And what a nice and easy way to show. I mean, like, I have this phone, right? I can totally see myself. Oh my God, this looks great together. You've now just put the product on the customer. You know, it's a nice way for them to try it out, and you've shown it rather than just showing it like sitting on a table or something like that. You can actually show what it's going to look like on their arm. Okay, and this is my last example. Your spa business in and of itself. So showing a picture of the outside, showing a picture of the inside, what they are going to expect when they come there, what it looks like inside. And this one, we actually had some conversations internally about this one. There are probably services that you have on your menu that your customers don't understand what they are, even though you've written a description of it. They can't imagine what it looks like or what it's like. And, you know, oh my gosh, do I have to get naked? Whatever the case may be. I love how this business actually shows what it's like to be in a Vichy shower. This is fabulous. And what, again, great way to make the customer feel comfortable, make your client feel comfortable, and to promote your service. Okay, that's the end of my content examples. And let's talk a little bit about how often you should post. Know that each social network is different and each business is different. So you really have to test. I mean, we test literally all the time. We've even found, and again, who we are appealing to is you, but you are appealing to a consumer. But even for us, we find that some posts or topics we can post about more frequently and other ones less so. So it can even be different based on your topic, but you still do want to post regularly. You don't be inconsistent. I really dislike it when I go and look at a business page and they haven't posted since 2019. You know, one of the questions that came up was not only how often do you have to post, but is it okay if I'm not that involved with social? And that's okay. But even then, you know, try to post once or twice a month. But as a guideline, a maximum frequency would be Facebook would be 1 to 2 posts per day, and Instagram 2 to 3 posts per day. If you posted on Twitter, that's like once an hour is acceptable. If you're on TikTok, it could be more frequent. But for Facebook and Instagram, these are about your numbers. But you still have to think about, you know, when if you post, let's say on Facebook twice a day, you really want to be thoughtful. And what is the value you are providing to your customer by posting that frequently? I will tell you that for Universal, we only post on Facebook and really Instagram about 15 times a month. So we only post every other day. And we have found that that is about the right amount for us. So you do need to test it and see what works for your business. And I'm sorry, I'm going on and on. I think I have about one more slide and then I'll stop. And if there's any questions, Megan, I'll be happy to answer them. I want to make sure though that Kristin has the time she needs.
Hey, Camille, can I stop for, since you just got on the topic of frequency, we did have a question come through, if you don't mind taking it. Are there better days to post in certain times?
That's a good question. And again, I think your analytics will tell you that. We also find that there are certain times of day. Now, remember, we are talking to you, the professional who is running a business, right? So our times of day are going to be different than your times of day. But there are absolutely times of day and day of the week that are better. When you create your I'll speak to Facebook, but it's also true for Instagram. When you create your business account, you do have access to insights and statistics, and it will help you to see that information. So again, test is what you want to do.
Thanks.
Then another thing I want to talk about is how you're going to get questions from your clients, or they're going to leave comments on posts. They're going to post reviews about you, and they may leave questions there. So you always want to interact with any comments or reviews or direct messages that people post. So for example, if you post something about a new product you have in your retail area and somebody comments and says, wow, this looks cool, you at least heart the comment, or say, yeah, it's really great, our staff loves it. Any kind of response, so that it shows that you're listening and that you hear them. One thing you can do, and that we've done, is we have a few basic responses and then we personalize those as needed. It does save a lot of time. Also, you want to try and respond as quickly as you can. We say that for a business, you want to respond in 24 hours is ideal. Know that on Facebook, your business's response time is actually displayed on your business page. So shorter response times does build trust in your business. So that's one thing to keep in mind. When you have a lengthy question, or if it's a sensitive topic, feel free to take it offline or to direct message that person. But even if you do that, you do want to leave a message saying, so if they leave you this long question about what it's like to get a Brazilian wax, let's say, what are all the steps? What do I have to be ready for? You might want to take that offline, but you still want to respond and say, I'll direct message you and answer all of your specific questions. That way, anybody who's looking at your business page sees that you are responding. Now, that said, if they ask a question and it's information that would be helpful to other customers, clients visiting your page, then go ahead and put that lengthy answer on the page if you think other people are going to see it. So you can decide, but just know that it's okay to take that question offline. And then also, when it comes to handling negative comments, sometimes it's best not to respond. I would say one thing that, as I was thinking through on how to give you advice on this, I'm sure you all are used to handling negative comments at your business. And so you want to use the same tact as you would in a one-on-one situation as you would on social. But just know that sometimes you don't need to respond. I'll give you one example. We had talked about a product on ours, and somebody said, will this product work on this piece of equipment? And we responded, and then somebody came back and said, it didn't work on my piece of equipment. Okay, that's fine. We didn't respond to it because previously we had said it will work on this list of equipment. So in that case, we just didn't feel it was necessary to respond. On rare occasion, we have hid negative comments that we think are damaging and really just inflammatory to our community. But that's not very often that we do that, but do know that that could be an option too for you. Okay, let's talk about, here's our other big question that we were getting was how to grow your social media audience. The ones we use, we have our social media icons on our website and our emails. We know that that works. People click, especially on our emails, people click on those icons and go to our accounts. Use hashtags. Kristin will talk a little bit more about this, but essentially a hashtag, it connects social media content to a specific topic. And so like I follow hashtags both in Facebook and Instagram. So I see any posts that from people who have used that hashtag. So I sometimes will go then and follow a page because of that, especially on Instagram. I do that a lot. You can tag other accounts. And I gave that example before about neighborhood businesses. That's a good way to grow your audience. Also, if you use certain products, if you featured products, you can go ahead and tag those. You can tag the product or the brand. And also any city accounts, you could tag those. So like we live in the Bristol area and we have like Believe in Bristol and we have City of Bristol and things like that. If I was a local business, I would probably tag those accounts pretty much every time. And then promotions are another way you can grow your social media following, but do know that there are really specific guidelines that you have to follow when you do promotions. And Facebook and Instagram both offer best practices on promotion, so you definitely will want to read up on those. And Facebook and Instagram handle promotions differently. So don't assume that the way you do it on one is the way that you would do it on the other. That would be wrong. And there are definite rules. Facebook, I think, is probably more strict than Instagram, I would say. Okay, so Kristin is going to pick up and talk about paid social. Are there any other questions, Peter or Megan, that I can answer before we get to the
Camille.
end?
So we can transition. So you talked a lot about engagement and how to do that. So the question comes to which posts get more interaction, videos, photos, and besides paid promotion, do hashtags really work?
Okay, so let's take that one time. Videos definitely get more interaction. So yeah, but don't not post because you're not comfortable doing videos or you don't know how to do videos. But videos, they definitely do win out. And then what was the other part of that question, Peter?
Besides paid promotion, do hashtags really work?
Yes, hashtags absolutely do work. I can honestly say that, especially for me in Instagram, for me personally on Instagram, there are several hashtags that I follow, and it has then made me follow additional businesses and other pages because they have used the hashtag. So absolutely hashtags work. And I think probably you'll find that there's probably a certain set of hashtags that you will always use. So don't think that with each and every post, you will have to go and kind of refigure out which hashtags to use every time. There's probably a core set you'll use on all of them.
Okay, and another, I think this might be a shorter question, so we'll ask it before Kristin starts. Do you think posts on Instagram and Facebook should be different? For example, most times when I add a post on Instagram, I use the option to also share to Facebook. I rarely go on Facebook and add a separate or different post or picture.
That's a very good question. So I will say that sizes of posts, the orientation of the post can be different and probably is different from one social media platform to the next. So we've already created things for Facebook and then it's not looked so great, video in particular, it's not then looked so great on Instagram just because of the actual size, the dimension of the file, right? Pixel height by pixel width. So yes, if you really want to kind of hit a home run on your social, you will consider the differences between the two. The other piece is that Instagram is much more a visual platform versus Facebook is more of an informational type platform. If I had to classify them broadly, I would say it that way. So that's another thing to keep in mind between the differences. But I will tell you that for UCO, 95, Kristin, % of our posts are the same on one as they are on the other, although we do create separate images or videos for each one.
Yeah, we do create separate sizes for sure.
But we do see we just had this, we just discussed this. We had something that we created for both and it bombed on Facebook and it was our #1 post on Instagram.
Yep.
So that's why I say you need to test and check your analytics. They're there for you. They're free. It's pretty easy to look at it.
Yep.
Okay, and the last thing is to follow up on the hashtag question. Should there be a limit on the number of hashtags being used? I sometimes see content creators and businesses hiding them.
I don't think you need to hide them. And I've never seen a limit. I mean, I don't think you should be ridiculous and, have something like this long, but I've never experienced it where I've been annoyed that there's too many hashtags. No,
Is there such a thing as too few hashtags?
Well, I probably only if you don't use hashtags. You're missing an opportunity. It's not wrong. You're just missing an opportunity to get in front of more people. That's
right. So should you just mentally say, I'm going to do 10 hashtags every post just sort of have a mental note of, this is the number of hashtags I set for myself to do.
Sure, you could do that. You could. Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, thanks. All right, Kristin?
Okay, can you see my slideshow? I'm not sure which.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we do.
It says paid social. Okay. All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about paid social media. Get started here.
Kristin, we're seeing your full deck with the notes, just so you know.
That's what I was afraid of. That's okay. I'll just leave my notes up. All right. So what is paid social media? So paying for social media platforms to display advertisements or sponsored messages to users of social networks placed on platform interact. The advertisements, they're going to cost different. They're going to have different costs depending on the type of ad and your targeting and the platform. There's a lot of variables that go into it. And then how does this differ from organic? So your typical like posts that you would just do on Facebook or Instagram, those are free posts, and they're also known as organic posts. They're going to be your photos, your stories, your videos, anything you post for free is an organic post, and they're going to be seen by a percentage of people who have actively decided to follow your page. And they can also be seen by followers. Okay, so if someone shares that post, it can also be seen by those people that follow those followers. And then by anybody who uses hashtags, which is just what Camille was talking about. So anytime you use those hashtags, if someone's following it, you're also going to reach those additional people. So by adding in the layer of the paid social media, you're going to get that opportunity to reach even more people, because with the organic, you're only reaching a small group. You're reaching that small percentage of the people who just follow your page. But if you want to expand that, you want to go into the paid social media realm. And for us, Tombras, the agency that Camille mentioned, helps us with a lot of that. They manage our paid social accounts. We choose a lot of the topics and creative, but they provide us with a lot of guidance and feedback in doing that, which is super helpful. And when you're trying to decide, like if you'll see when you're scrolling through your feed, if you're trying to work out, what's an organic post or what's a paid post, an easy way to tell is anything that's paid is going to have this sponsored right underneath the name of the page. So I've got it highlighted here. And then just your organic posts, they won't have anything like that. And the other thing about a sponsored post is it's going to have this block at the bottom where it kind of has some more information and a call to action. It's going to have this, it'll say sign up or learn more, shop now. There's a few different options that you can add on to there, which is kind of a nice benefit of having that paid ad. And that these are just a couple great examples. They're from the same page. This one was just a regular organic post that they did. And then this is a paid ad that they're running for their plant-based restorative therapy. So how do we run paid ads? So there's two different ways you can run paid ads. You can boost one of your organic posts, your free posts that you've done, or you can run a paid social ad. Boosting posts is the easiest way to get started with paid advertising. So I'm going to mostly focus on that. But social ads, or your paid ads, they're created through the Facebook, which is also manages your Instagram ads manager, and it's going to offer more customization, so you can choose your ad placements. So it could be in the news feed, it could be in Messenger, it could be embedded in articles, within app. There's a whole lot more placement options that you have available. You can have different types of creative. So I don't know if there's different ones where like maybe it's you scroll through and there's a different products you can flip through, or there's different video types. You could also have those different call to actions that I was talking about. So sign up, learn more, or shop, and a lot more advanced targeting. You do get some targeting with the boosting, but there's a lot more available with the paid ads. So when you're boosting a post, there's 3 easy steps. If you're on your Facebook page and you click boost post, you'll say who you want to reach. And so you can do, your page followers, you can choose some demographics. You can also choose some location bases, which is you likely will want to do because you probably just want to target people within your area. And then your max budget, how much do you want to spend? And how much you spend is also going to reflect how many people you reach. The more you spend, the more people you're likely going to reach, and then how long you want to run your ad. And that's that's how you get started with boosting posts. And then you just they'll give you some analytics, and so you can monitor the results and see how different things do. And I wouldn't suggest like going out and boosting every post. You want to be pretty strategic about what you do, because this could be a good way to grow your audience. So maybe boost something that's like offering a new service is a great way to reach out and gain new clients. That might be a good example. Or if you're offering some retail, that might be a good one to boost as well. And then some tips to keep in mind when you're making creative for just organic and especially your paid ads. And this is some advice that came from our Tombras partners. People hold their phones vertically 90% of the time. So you want to make sure your video form, if you're doing video, make sure you shoot the video vertically because that's how people are going to see it. Don't shoot it horizontally. And also try to keep it around 15 seconds because that's the user's attention span and you're able to communicate the messaging. And also keep in mind, 85% of your video plays in feed with the sound off. So make sure your message is relayed in that video without sound as best that you can. And then sort of a creative content checklist, things to ask yourself when you're making creative. Is there a clear objective? What's the value you're giving to the customer? Is it relevant to the audience? Is there a call to action? What are you driving them to do? And does it align with your goals? And is your brand present? So that's the other big thing with your creative. I think if you've been in any of the other online marketing webinars, we talk about, branding, having your colors and, keeping that same theme. You want to get that in your social media as well. So your website, your email, your social, you want to keep that same color palette as well. So you've got that across the board. And then general social media advice. Oh, I think these were just questions, right, Camille? I'm going to skip over this for now. We'll come back to it.
Those were general questions we had received.
Okay. Do you want me to answer those now or come back to them?
Sure, you can.
Okay.
I think I hit on the first one pretty closely.
Difference between Facebook and Instagram. We did cover that one. Separating personal accounts and business accounts. Yeah, you definitely generally want to separate those from each other. Because what you post on your personal account may not be appropriate for your business account. And so you definitely want to try to keep those separately. And then there's also there's more tools you have on a business account than you do your personal account, like the analytics and the insights that we were talking about earlier. You'll get those on a business account, then you don't get that on your personal one. And then gaining more followers in a geographical area. You can do that by using those city-state hashtags that Camille was talking about earlier. You can do that with boosting posts, doing geographical targeting. And then the co-posting also that Camille was talking about as well. Let's see. Was there any other questions before I jump on to the next topic? Okay.
I haven't seen anything come through.
No.
Okay.
Okay, cool. All right, so now we've got our pages up and running, we're posting, we're running ads. And so how do we tell what is and isn't working? Well, first you want to set some goals, start small, be specific, set a realistic time frame. Maybe to start out your goals are you want to increase your number of followers, or you want to increase sales or visits to your website, or maybe it's new clients, or even, increase your bookings for a month. And when you're setting those goals, keep that in mind when you're creating the content for like your content calendar, to make sure your content aligns with those goals. Excuse me. And then each platform is going to provide you with some basic analytics about your page for free. It's included with your business account. And on Facebook, you just go to page and click insights. And then on Instagram, and this is only accessible from your phone on Instagram, go to your profile, type insights, and then click on metrics. And it's going to show you accounts reach, interactions, and followers. And Facebook will give you like age, gender, location. It'll also tell you when your followers are online, which will help you tell you when you should post the day and time. And then there's also some other tools out there that can help with your scheduling. And a lot of these also include some analytics as well. These two, Hootsuite, Buffer, excuse me, and Later have free plans available. They also have paid, but they have free ones that you can start with. And these are super helpful because everyone's days are very busy. And so you could just set aside, a couple hours or an hour every week and just schedule out all your posts for a week or 2 weeks in these platforms. And so then it's all ready to go. And so that saves you a lot of time with your planning, and it's not something you have to worry about every single day for your posting. And then a great paid tool is Loomly. It's very similar. You do have to pay for it though, but it has some more features that you could use. And then just some more resources if you're looking for some photos. A lot of these are free, some are paid. Canva is a great tool for creating social media posts. They've got templates already built out for you for social and Instagram, so you just have to swap out text and photos. Some free hashtag generator tools available for you. And then if you need some photo or video storage, iCloud is a great tool. And that's it.
Hey, Kristin, just to go back to your comment on, or your recommendation of the scheduling tools.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, can't you pre-schedule on Facebook for free?
Yes, you can. Absolutely. Yeah, you can schedule right into Facebook for free. That's definitely an option.
Okay. And
I think the one thing about the scheduling tools is it allows you to schedule for multiple social sites all in one fell swoop.
It does
right?
let you do that.
You don't have to
Yes.
go into Facebook and schedule and then go into Instagram and schedule. You just go to Hootsuite and schedule for everything.
Yep.
Right. And somebody asked, what are the features in Loomly? Maybe you just want to refer them to their website, but if you
Yeah, that I would go there to their website and look. They do have a lot of features. I would just go out and compare and see what kind of works best for your needs. Some have, more built out analytics and insight tools than others. Some even have, content calendars where you can build out your own content calendar within there. Some of them even have them where you can hook it up with the comments and messages that you get within Facebook and Instagram, so you can reply directly within those platforms. It's just kind of all about what your needs are. I would just suggest doing a little research and find out what fits your needs. There's some really nice tools out there.
If you go to Google and you search on comparing social media scheduling tools, there are probably a half a dozen or so articles that were written that compare some of the top tools and what the advantages and disadvantages are of each. I personally do that many times for a lot of the different apps that we need to find or set up, whether it's social media or not. I've had good luck with that.
Great. Kristin, we did have a request if you could move on to, you showed briefly slide 35. I just want to look at the resources.
Oh, yeah.
For that again.
There you
So
go.
Laura, you asked that question. So if you registered for this, you're going to get a link to the video. And so you can, if you don't jot down all these things right away, you can certainly get it with the email that you'll get tomorrow, I believe, as a follow-up. So we did have a couple of other questions. We're close to time, but this one came in from, she says, I'm an older medical esthetician. How do I prepare for a job interview if I've never used social media?
So I volunteered to take this answer.
Okay.
and help me, Peter, to make sure I hit all the spots that we talked about before. But, in some ways that can be good. When I get a resume, the very first thing I do is look them up on all the social accounts and I check them out. What do they post about? Am I friends with anybody that they know? What groups do they belong to, etc. So in some way it can be a little bit good because there have been people that I've seen that, their social accounts are not favorable for them. We'll say it that way. But it can also be a little frustrating for the hiring manager because they can't find out anything about you. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Now, if you, let's say, I know she said she was, I think, a medical esthetician, Peter, is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you want to get a job at a trendy salon that caters to younger people, I would say not having social accounts is a definite down. It's, it goes against you. So you need to think about that. But otherwise, in her particular case, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing.
Okay.
Okay.
The last one. This is one of those eye of the beholder, I suppose. But it says they say so many social media options. How to choose which ones actually provide a return on investment?
Yeah, so that was another one we talked about. How to choose. You need to think about your audience at your business and where which social sites they use. I think, as we mentioned, these are just very generalizations, but if you're catering to a much younger audience, you're probably looking at Instagram and TikTok. If you have an older demographic, you're probably looking at Facebook. If you have a business demographic, LinkedIn might work well for you. So you'll have to think about it that way to make your decision. And you know what? There's nothing wrong when your customers are coming in, ask them. You can ask them in a general way, or you can do a poll or something like that to see where they're focused. But I would say that I think, especially if you don't have a website, you really do need a Facebook page because people need to be able to find out something about you, your hours, where you're located, etc. So I would at least have a Facebook page and try to, post at least once or twice a month, just so there's some freshness there. Yeah, that would be my answer for them.
Okay, and I'm going to reshape that question a little bit. So the return, I think what they're talking about is the return on investment when it comes to the money that they're going to spend on the platform. But there's also the return on the investment of effort, and sometimes engagement becomes something that you maybe can't directly monetize, but because you've gotten so much engagement, that the marketing is working, the brand is being is more well known. That kind of it's an investment of time and creativity.
That's correct. That is correct, right? And so then your ROI is your personal time or your staff's time. And you have to see how that pans out. If you're spending money, to Kristin's point, when she was talking about the paid social, if you're spending money, you can actually see that if you put $50 into it, did I sell or did people click? You have a better idea of the ROI, but it's a little more nebulous when you're talking just the organic and are they seeing me? Are they interacting with me?
Yeah. Okay, well, those are the questions that we had. So I want to thank you, Camille and Kristin, for spending a lot of time on this topic, which can go on for hours.
Right. Thank you for everyone who attended.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. And thanks. This is our last episode of the series, the part 6 series. It's been a wild ride and so much good information. So thank you, Universal Companies, for doing this for us. We all learned so much. And yes, the whole series is on our website, gsnplanet.org/community/webinar. So we have all the recordings, and we actually link to Universal Companies because they actually give you all the links to the resources, to the Hootsuites, to the, recommended on Google Ads, websites, everything that you need that has been on all the presentations is on their site as well. So we'll make sure that we send something out to you guys. But I think that's it. Thank you so much again, Camille. This is your second time around.
Yes.
As well.
Her second time too.
Yeah. So we appreciate it very much. So much good information.
Yes. Thank you, GSM Planet. It's been wonderful.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Have a good afternoon, everybody. And hopefully we'll see Universal back another time.
Yep. Okay. Absolutely. Bye.
Bye.